Step 1, step 2, step 3. Now we're ready for step 4, the actual disarm. From here, and this is just a particular one, and you have to be very careful when you're training if your partner keeps his finger inside the trigger, because when you strip the gun, quite often what will happen is people can get injured. So you have to be very careful. You can do this one of two ways. You can do the disarm very slowly with their finger in the trigger so that you can get a feel for what that does. Or if you want to practice the disarm a little quicker, okay, make sure your partner has his finger outside that trigger guard so that you can just practice the strip a little quicker. Now, a couple of things you have to keep in mind when you're actually doing the disarm. You're inside the circle, and you need to stay there. Very, very important. And here's a way to picture this. As you pivot, that you stay the center of the circle around which the gun travels. Index your hands to your body so you gain strength. And then when you turn, you make sure that you stay the center of the circle around which the gun pivots. That way you're always inside the circle, and at some point your attacker will be on the outside of the circle. Do some indexing. Pin your arms to your body. Twist with your whole body. That way, let's say your attacker is bigger and stronger than you. Okay? You can gain a little bit more strength advantage back. But you have to make sure that you are the center of the circle around which the gun travels. Okay? If you can see that motion, we'll just kind of, as I turn, I keep my arms pinned to my body, and I make sure that I'm the center. Now, the circle itself can move around, okay, and it can go to different places, but the bottom line is you can see that I'm still the center, the gun muzzle is the outside, and as it pivots, I stay in the center and the gun travels. All right? You can see what that does. At some point in this whole exercise, the muzzle, okay, will pass your attacker's body. He's outside the circle. I'm inside. Here's where it starts, and it goes from here out. Don't make the mistake of stepping off and leaving the gun here, even though you're twisting it with your wrists. Okay? Again, you can get away with that as long as when you move this way, you keep pushing the gun ahead of you. But when you do something like that, you typically only use your wrists and your hands. Okay? And if he's stronger than you are and he starts bringing that other hand into play, pretty soon you're muscling against him and you have put yourself back outside the circle. Again, that increases the chance that at some point during this whole thing, he may get that gun to pass back pointed at you. You'll find that as you practice these disarms, from the 18 positions, you will end up doing 3 of the same basic disarms. For instance, you may start from here, and you're going to find yourself here. Now, you may get there that way. You may get in that same position by doing this point. Okay? But when you find yourself on the outside of their arm, on the inside of that danger circle, and again, you can deliver whatever strikes that match your system best, you'll find yourself in this position here. Their fingers up. Some of you may even have an armbar that looks like this, an empty-handed armbar version that looks like this. Okay? But once you end up in this position with the fingers up, what you want to do is grab that gun with your right hand, okay? Keeping a hold of their wrist with the left, indexing the arms as I mentioned, staying the center of the circle, pivoting the gun, and the disarm goes like this. Again, be very careful when you're practicing this with your partner's finger in the trigger. And you've seen some systems where you can actually make the gun fire into the attacker. You're going to end up breaking their finger here. You're going to have to release that. If you just keep twisting and pull, their finger is binding the gun in there. So to get the release, you're going to have to, after you've broken their finger, you're going to have to roll it out in this direction. So that's one of the basic disarms that you'll find yourself in. Second basic position you'll find yourself in is on the inside. Okay, you've done step 1, your deflection. Step 2, you're grabbing. You can see I'm well inside that danger circle. Step 3, devastate your attacker. Okay, a couple of strikes. Here's your disarm, right here. Gun pivots this way. Again, be careful of the finger and the trigger. Let's do a third technique from the back. Let's see, you got that pointed right at the back of my head? Like that. See that? You miss me, don't you? This is my shoulder. If I put my arm up in there, okay, helps a little bit more. So, I've got a videotape of a police officer attempting to do a disarm. It's that one where he stopped a couple of teenagers in a car and a kid got out and pointed a gun at him, and then the cop was talking to him at one point. He was like this, and he did what looked like a textbook disarm, except he went like this, and he was way the hell out here, so far away. The guy just jerked the gun back, and that was it. And said, "Don't do that again, or I'm going to kill you." And again, if somebody's pointing a gun at you, what's a natural reaction for you to do? To do this and give yourself a peek. All right? People are more likely to kill you if they don't have to look you in the eye. Make them look you in the eye. You know, that's like I say. If I'm standing here and he's pointing a gun at me, I mentioned earlier that, and he wants me to turn around and lie down, it's because he doesn't want to look me in the eye when he kills me. You've got your money. You know, you can go. You know, at that point, I'd probably start to get belligerent. If you do this right, the gun should end up upside down. Okay? Because once you're here like this, you got a good control. Go ahead and shoot me. All right? Once you've got a good control on them, you can switch up to this, to put your hand on the gun. The other side of the circle, and the disarm goes like this. It goes in this direction. Okay? And again, if he puts his finger on the trigger, so I'll do this slow. Boom. And then take it away. You know, right now this is say this is a nice straight line, and his arm is a nice straight line. There's about 3 inches, 2 inches difference. This gun during the disarm should stay at that same line and run right across horizontally here. That's where you get the maximum, you know, grip breakage, as it were. Okay. When I do this one here, I'm doing the exact same thing. See that? It's just upside down. For the disarms, all right? All those other 18 points, you end up in one of these 3. So like I said, it's not 18 different disarms you got to learn, times 5. Okay, it's just these.
Elbow straight, that, grab.
Yep. This is one of the easiest ones to do, actually.
You okay?
Yep. This is, in my opinion, this is one of the easiest ones to do. You also don't have to even get into technique. If you just pow and do this, you can do that. You know, you can do this as a takedown and just stay right here until, you know, the other 3 guys that are with you jump on him. Now, this one you can slide this right up and hang right on and just pin it right there. See how much control you have?
Right.
Now you can let go of that and do that. And then the strip goes just like that, except that you can see how you have got to move around with it. Yep. Yeah, and just keep twisting. Push right in. Push. That's okay. There you go. See that?
I see.
Once you break that grip, so from here you can go pow. Just do this as a takedown. You know, and you know you can still do the strip, or you can roll it that way. The other thing to keep in mind is we haven't gone boom. We haven't blasted him with that elbow strike. That's going to be a big factor in this. Okay. You know, so from here again, you know, scoop an eye out, do a strip, bust a finger. You can do the disarm in that direction if he's got his finger on the trigger. Don't do this. Don't reach over the top. Because remember, there's no you got no deflection. You move your arm a whole lot and you haven't deflected the gun. So the deflection happens here. So keep your elbows down, and just do that.
And,
and then I'm draping after that.
right, that's right. Okay.
So try not to reach around to grab it.
So that's right. You're not rolling around it.
No.
You're rolling into it.
I'm rolling into it, and this you're all right. If I do nothing, I'll go like this and turn.
Yeah.
See how close I am, and see how I've deflected the gun. And I've not really moved my arms. I didn't do anything at all. That's what you want. It really comes down to the formula of get inside the circle, hit your attacker, and then stay inside the circle when you're doing the disarm. Let's say you get like this, and instead of being upside down, so you're really breaking the grip like we talked about, you're in this thing here where it's just twisting. Okay? Well, when it twists, switch up, get in close. Okay? I'm not going to say you're not going to make mistakes. And somebody mentioned, I'd say, well, the temptation is, what if we're like that, and what if you do go like this, and you're way out here? Well, that's okay, and that may be a reaction, but what you're going to do is go, uh-oh. You know, if you start outside of the circle, you can do step 1 and step 2 successfully and be outside of the circle. The longer you stay there, you know, the greater the chance that this is going to fail on you. All right, so it's okay if when he points that at you, if you go, you do this. As long as when he steps back and pulls the gun to him and does this, that you close the distance, get inside the circle. Pow, start hitting him.